The 3-week break is over with and we back with new JJK chapter 222. This one was very intriguing. We got, of course, some extra build up to lead into the final arc, some character reactions to recent events, and some little things I expected to see following Gojo's return. But more than anything, it was a lot of open-ended scenes in this chapter to leave us questioning why is this happening, or what's he or she about to say in this moment, or what's going to happen following this. Just a lot of questions. But Gege has done that before. I mean, he's notorious for leaving things open-ended for the reader on countless times. And I think the way this whole thing ended, similar to how the Culling game started, and a little bit of how Shibuya post Gojo took place, he's giving himself freedom to go whatever direction he chooses to go, but at the same time making it fall in place chronologically in a sense. Kind of like after you read it a second time, you'll go, oh, this makes more sense than it did the first time, or he'll probably do kind of like some jumps in time where he'll go back in time or he may go forward. I see him kind of do a little bit of that. But let's dive into more of what happened in this chapter. Let's start with the King of Curses side of things. So Sukuna and Arame pretty much going over what's up with the Sukuna fingers, and like I predicted, Sukuna is eating the rest of the fingers in the meantime, except he's missing one that Arame couldn't find. They hypothesized that it's Gojo in his possession. Now logically I can see Gojo keeping a spare hidden just in case. Not on him, of course, because someone would have been able to sniff it out by now. But I think Gojo has it sealed somewhere that's probably hard to detect cursed energy. But in regards to Sukuna specifically, the most important part for him this chapter is what he did with the Shinbutsu mummy. It originally looked like something to wear or attach to himself, but no, he's actually eating the mummy. Now based off what I know from these mummies, the mummification process is done in a way to preserve the person's dead body. This is like a Buddhism act or ritual done by other monks as well. But from the looks of it, Sukuna can obviously turn things into cursed objects. That's how he brought himself back and he takes over these other vessels. This mummy seems like a way to preserve himself in the option or the case that he does die. He's the only one that's experienced death and come back to life kind of, or was on near death and came back to life in the series. So it's fitting if he was given something like this. Plus he references Kenjaku and Tengen in that how this is ironic that he was given this, kind of again leaving it open-ended, as if Tengen has used one of these before because she needed them due to her immortality or something. It's really hard to kind of tell like what he's going for. But I do think this mummy is definitely going to play a part in Sukuna's quote-unquote death or something against Gojo. Also, I gotta admit, it was pretty funny that Arame, even after reverse curse technique, could still feel the punch that Gojo gave her. And the embarrassment before that, that's kind of tough. I don't know what Arame is going to do in this final arc, because from the looks of it, I guess she's not really going to be fighting. She's just kind of going to be monitoring what's going on between Gojo and Sukuna, which kind of sucks. I do want her to fight, but we'll see going forward. I'm pretty sure she's going to get something kind of pivotal down the line. Moving on to Kenjaku, this dude had my mind boggled for a little bit in his section. He talked about not everybody is able to put their life on the line, but if they had their hand forced by someone else, they would have no choice but to take action. And he referenced Tengen when he speaks about this concept. This is twice now that Tengen has been name dropped in these passing quotes by Sukuna and Kenjaku. This makes me think now that whatever happened in their prime years, the hand era, or who knows, maybe like a little bit before or after, Tengen was in a life or death scenario or some sort in that nature, and Tengen took a cowardly way out of preserving her life. I'm really hoping Gege can stop teasing us and give us that flashback, or at least an explanation behind the connection of Tengen, Sukuna, and Kenjaku, because whatever happened with those three characters, it feels like it really changed a lot regarding, like, obviously their relationship, and of course just I guess how Jujutsu Society was, because the way they speak of Tengen, it almost seems as if they used to have respect for Tengen and then it just was gone. Kenjaku, for the most part, this child was pretty much just cooling in the street, just watching TV. I don't know why he was just in the middle of the road with a bunch of cables, just looking at a blank TV when all he had to do was just go to like a hotel or apartment. I don't know. Kenjaku's a weird individual. But now let's get into the real stuff. So we got Gojo getting caught up by Shoko and Ichiji about who's died while he's been locked up. And Nanami was the one that surprised Gojo the most because he figured he found a way to survive or somehow. Really shows the respect that Gojo had for Nanami. I still would have liked to know his reaction to Yaga and Nobara, but judging from his POV, he's probably not surprised because Yaga was always targeted by the higher ups. And as for Nobara, I kind of just wish he would have said like a sentence or something for her, unless there's something that we don't know. I mean, I guess the Nobara, possibilities are still in the air somehow. I kind of gave up on those. But I never expected Gojo to like start breaking down and crying or whatever because of these deaths. That would be out of character for him. Also, death in JJK is something that's really normalized, especially for a sorcerer. So except for like a few others, of course, who really get touched by those, death isn't gonna impact characters like you would imagine or expect. A lot of times death towards a person who's like a friend or just kind of someone that they really looked after, a lot of times in JJK it's used as a way to motivate a character or to make them go on and get stronger in a sense. But not in the literal sense, but more so they get mentally stronger, mentally tougher. That's kind of how death is used and perceived by someone else. It was pretty funny though that Ichiji thought he was gonna get scolded because he thought they were thinking about how did Nanami die and he didn't, which is actually a valid question. How Ichiji's of all people survived over a lot of the others in Shibuya is kind of crazy to think about. But apparently from Gojo, Ichiji has an important task before everything is taken care of in this final arc, which is the last thing I ever would expect. Do I know what it is or have an idea? Absolutely not. He's either calling someone or he's doing something for like an assistance or something. Let me know what you guys think it is. And Ino returns after his beatdown by Toji in Shibuya. I'm not gonna lie, I thought we were never gonna see Ino until like the last couple of chapters of the series where everything is wrapped up. And he's got something important to say as well. If from the looks of it, it might be revolving around Nanami, or maybe he's got something to give us, because that's also what it looks like, because he took his hat off and he looks like he has just something really serious to tell us. So I don't know. Again, Gege just leaving things kind of questioning where things could go. And with characters like Ichiji and Ino, the last thing I expected. But I'm intrigued to say the least. My favorite part of this whole chapter is Yuji and Kusakabe's training. But first off, Mei returned and she's making a bag now. She's selling pay-per-view broadcasts and making $5 billion off of those, which is crazy. I mean, based off what we know about her, she doesn't have to do a little bit of sorcery at all anymore. I mean, she's basically making more than probably all of us combined. Side note, I do like that Gege tied in the underworld arenas and how they grew in interest due to the laws post Shibuya. That's some cool world building, considering after Shibuya we found Hikari in his underground fight club. Just kind of adds a little bit more extra spice to it, you know. And they are actually betting on Gojo versus Sukuna. That's funny. That's pretty dope. They got Gojo versus Sukuna on FanDuel. They got it on Parlay, everything. By the way, over on Sukuna, that's where we're going. Yuji and Kusakabe are doing martial arts, suplex and judo training, and Yuji says you should be getting better at this, Yuji, to Kusakabe, and Kusakabe answers, yes sir. This has got to be soul swapping or body swapping. I think soul swapping just kind of fits thematically more. Now the twist is this could be from Kenjaku's body or DNA technically that he has in him. Because if it's Sukuna having body hopping and also having a way to take someone's body as a vessel through cursed objects, that sounds kind of dumb to me. It would be kind of OD. Like, why does he need both? So I think that's what's going on here. And with Yuki's book, he might have gotten some other ideas as well from it as to how to use it properly. Not to mention he's kind of a cursed storage toolbox as well right now himself. Really similar to Kirby, to be honest. This swapping body technique for Yuji can get really crazy because the biggest question is, can Yuji use the person's curse technique while in that body, leaving the other person stuck in Yuji's body that just has, I guess, physical enhancements, obviously superhuman strength, etc. Yuji's basically about to be Captain Ginyu for a moment. That's kind of wild to think about. I think I'll talk about this more in a video later because I want to go narratively deeper into that and just look at how broad the scopes have become with this game-changing possible technique for Yuji in the story. We time skip to December 24th, which I'm still kind of actually surprised Gege did all of this in a chapter. But like I said in the beginning, there's definitely going to be flashbacks where Gege goes back to these past scenes and does like a callback to them. But Kenjaku, Sukuna, and Urame are getting ready. Kenjaku is heading off to hunt down the other Culling Game players and is just happy to be able to move around freely because he knows the opposition have to be very cautious of what they do. And it's also crazy just to think that soon we're about to get Kenjaku versus Yuta and the other sorcerers coming in as well. Really just kind of, it feels like a culmination of Volume 1 and Fearsome Womb. It's really dope to think about. Also kind of sad because the story's going to be ending soon. And basically the last stretch is Yuta, Yuji, and Maki and the rest of the gang waiting for Gojo as Gojo comes out with Gaku Ganji and Utahime. Maybe I'm expecting too much, but I feel like Gaku Ganji and Gojo had a real serious talk before getting ready because Gojo looks very intense. But Gojo came out with a white robe drip, looking clean as he does look like the son of God or something. Like I don't know why that simple change is like really dope. And I don't know if I missed something, but Yuji wanted to give Gojo some encouragement ahead of his battle, of course, and everyone just looked either confused or caught off guard. I took this as Yuji being the one who still has this upbeat nature or personality even before an important death match like this, and everyone gave him some dap, kind of like giving into it before his battle with Sukuna. I mean, shit, it could be the last time that they see him, and Itadori inadvertently calmed down Gojo too, because he did look pissed. Like it looked like Gojo was told something, or maybe he's just in battle mode. I don't know, that whole sequence just felt kind of odd. Plus, it's just rare to see the cast like smiling at all like this much, unless they're just crazed in battle. So this is just a cool moment for them to have, because they really don't have a lot of them. I think this chapter is like a cool 6.5, 7 out of 10. But the stage is set. We're set for more reveals too, the epic battles and the climax with some of these characters. This is gonna be a crazy big talk summer for JJK. I got faith in my guy Gege to deliver on all fronts and deliver the goods. Also, one thing before I go, where is this psychopath? Where has he been all chapter? Has he already started?